There's this phrase that on any given job, you can only pick two of the following: people, project, and pay. And in my experience, this is really quite true. On some jobs, you may get paid amazing and the job is pretty cool, but the clients or the people that you're working with are really, really difficult. Or on other jobs, you may not get paid very much at all, but you get to work with the best clients and the best crew ever, and the job is something that you're really passionate about. And I think that it's so important to keep in mind not just the short-term success of a job, but rather to look at the long-term value of the project as well. Some of the most pivotal moments in my career have actually come from being willing to sacrifice a little bit on the front end in order to build a long-term relationship with a client or a crew that I'm passionate about working with. Let me share a perfect example. About 7 years ago, my friends Carrie and Cody asked me to shoot and edit their wedding video. They had a budget of about $5,000, which I knew was probably going to be a little bit of a squeeze, but I was determined to make it happen. By the end of that project, I probably spent about $1,500 on gear rentals, $750 on hiring a Movi operator for some smoother shots, $250 for a license, all these things that kind of added up. And on top of that, I probably spent a total of about 100 hours producing, shooting, editing, going through numerous rounds of notes, and all in all, I probably made somewhere around like $15 an hour, if not less. But I really gave it my all, and I made it the best wedding video that I could possibly make. Fast forward a couple months, and the Movi operator I had hired for the shoot, Christian Schultz, ended up calling me to see if I'd be interested in working as a producer for this feature-length documentary at a company called MusicBed. Well, working there ended up being a major pay raise from my previous job, and I got to meet some incredible people and some amazingly talented guys in the film industry. And my skill set in that job increased exponentially and set me up with some amazing relationships. Circling back around to Cody and Carrie, both of them are touring music artists. And after my time at MusicBed was wrapping up, they invited me to come on tour and create visuals for this, nationwide arena tour. Of course, I said yes to this opportunity, and this actually ended up being the very first tour visual experience that I had that led to a ton of other opportunities and this really amazing niche and a really big turning point in my career. And even with them, that tour visuals project led to a deeper relationship where I was able to actually work as their creative director through each of their album campaigns over the next couple years, increasing my rates even more as I started to manage teams and, sort of really take my editing skills and my skills overall to the next level. I even won, awards like a Dove Award for the creative direction on Carrie's album, which was really cool. And all of this, again, coming from a wedding video where I essentially made, about $15 an hour. The moral of the story is that I believe that pay always follows passion. After all, the goal is happy editing, right? Not rich, but I hate my job editing. So remember in all of this to look at the big picture. After 15 years of doing this professionally, I can say confidently that this approach leads to a much better life and a career overall. And my hope for you is really the same. I know business is a tricky subject, but I hope that this has given you a picture of the sort of long-term value that is so much more important than just the short-term value. And I hope that these stories make the whole thing feel a little bit more practical. As always, if you have any questions about this or anything else, please feel free to reach out. And until next time, happy editing.